What is up, my YouTube fam? I am back again. Another Bama Knife Guy video. Today, video is going to be a short one, and it is just basically my first impressions of the Civivi Backlash in Damascus. Some people may already know about this knife, some may not. It comes in just a standard 9CR steel. But I caught it on a little bit of a deal the other day, and I've had, as most of you know, I've had some time to sit around and do freaking nothing. So, shopping online ends up with Chinese Damascus in your home. That's how that works. But real quick, before we get started, I'll tell you what's on the table. Obviously, I've always, because I'm in Alabama, I have the freedom to always have a sidearm and an AR just off camera. But this is a Sig Sauer P320. This is a full size, and I've done some mods to it and some customization to make it a little bit nicer. It's got a custom trigger in it, a few cosmetic mods, nothing super special. Anyway, then because I always do nothing but Spyderco knives, and I'm sure everybody out there's sick of that, I've got no Spydercos on the table. Actually, that's a lie. I've got one sitting over here off to the side. Spyderco Smock. He's over here chilling, but he will not be guest starring on this here video. So, we got my Kaiser Nomad 2U knife Cebu in micarta, the big clinker as I call it, the Kaiser Sheepdog XL, and then the Cold Steel Code 4 in XHP. And the star of the show, Civivi Backlash, or as Blue Collar Survival calls it, the Civivi Backlash. That was probably one of the funniest videos I've seen him do. Sales guy was talking about the Civivi Wyvern, and he calls it the Civivi Wyvern. Absolutely was freaking rolling watching that. That was funny as hell. But anyway, so yeah, it's just a first impressions of this knife. This is my first real, well, I guess even holding a Civivi. I think by the time we got to the Civivi booth and the Wii booth over there at Blade Show, they were pretty much sold out of everything. I think they might have had one or two Strateras, but I didn't even handle them. But anyway, so yeah, this is my first time handling one. And when I tell you this thing is microscopically thin behind the edge, I mean, it just doesn't even make sense how thin this freaking knife is behind the edge. When I first picked it up, I was like, are you serious right now? But the very first thing I did was broke out the stones and I started sharpening it up. I'm not much for a stock edge. I just don't like them. So, but it's super, super thin, and I was able to get this thing hair whittling very, very rapidly. It took very little effort on my part to get this thing to whittle. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. I can barely see my viewfinder, so bear with me. Yeah, it just blew it right in half. But if you know who I am, and you've seen some of my videos or my Instagram, you know I can get knives hair whittling. It's not a freaking surprise. So if I can't get it to focus or do it right here, just trust the fact that it is, I mean, completely and utterly hair splitting sharp. But yeah, so and it was very effortless to get it there. There we go. It's starting to cut there. But anyway, that was my first impressions on it. Was super, super thin behind the edge. The pocket clip comes with a deep carry pocket clip. I think a lot of people had issues with some of the Civivi products having screw heads in the pocket clip sticking up too far. These, I guess they fixed that problem because they are nearly flush. The one in the back, or the top rather, sticks up just a tiny, tiny bit, but it is not enough to really even make mention of. Putting it in and out of the pocket feels fine. I mean, it does, depending on what type of fabric you're putting it on, it may catch just a little on the edge of the clip. You see how it's got kind of a sharp corner right there, but I'm sure I can sand that and round it over pretty easily. But it is extremely deep carry. The action feels good. The blade doesn't weigh enough for it to really be drop shut, but I figure if it had slightly thicker blade stock, it would be drop shut because the action is extremely smooth. It's almost effortless. But just because it's so thin and so light, I don't believe it'll ever drop. It may. I still haven't taken it apart, so I still got to do that. Put a little KPL in it, and you would be insanely surprised at what a little bit of KPL can do. But anyway, so yeah, So far, so good. Sharpened up well. I did a little bit of cutting with it. It cut very, very well. I like the way the handle is shaped. It fits my hand really well. There is no lock rock at all. I mean, it does not move in the hand. Lockup looks pretty good. It locks up somewhat shallow. I'd say at 25 to 30%, but it's a nice solid lockup. It's a liner lock, G10 handles, and Damascus. But so far, I'm digging it. I don't know if it'll be anything that I'll keep around. It may just come and go, but that's my first impressions of the Civivi Backlash. So I'm gonna do some more testing with it, cut some things with it, and carry it for a little bit and see what I think about it. And then we'll do a full review video on it, even though I'm not really a review guy, but that's what we're gonna do. So, all right, guys and gals, I love you, and I am out.